Hey everybody. I saw this story and we hate these guys, these refugees and everything, but this story is one out of a million that kind of breaks your heart that things are this bad for the world. So I wanted to share it. I hope you guys get this out there cuz you know, nobody should have to live like this and do this, folks. You know, in Islam, charity is a great thing. Unfortunately, it isn't pushed so much in Christianity or Judaism or in the communities, unfortunately, as much as it should be. And charity is like giving somebody help where it's needed. It isn't just donate a coat and hope somebody, gets it. It's provide for those who have less and help those who have less get more until they're pretty much able to live like you or better. And this story, folks, it's just bad. I barely want to get into it because it's bad. I've only found this in one source, and I've only found 2 or 3 stories, and none of them really go into the details much. So I'm trying to make this get out there as much as possible because what this guy had to go through is ridiculous, folks. There was a Syrian refugee. I believe this guy was probably late 50s. And he's one of these refugees that came over in this massive wave, this, 10,000 plus that came over. And I have yet to learn if he's in Germany, if he's in the United States, if he is in, where he ended up, folks. But this story is just messed up. He came over here and he was turned down for most, if not all, the major programs. All the Merkel, Obama stuff, nobody wanted to give him. He came over with his little daughter, trying to get away from all the stuff that happens in the Middle East. And he was left having to fend for himself in a world that didn't want him there, wouldn't employ him, wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that, and why the government that took him in wouldn't give him a job and everything, I don't know, folks. But I want to get this story out there because, as you can see, folks, he's made headlines a little while ago. His name, let's see here. Let's see what his name is. Abul Salim Al-Attar, a Syrian refugee. This wasn't a guy that was fighting ISIS, or a guy that was fighting ISIS or anything of the affiliation. This wasn't a freedom fighter from a past war. This guy just wanted out of the country to raise his daughter, folks. He was found in a shelter in Beirut, Lebanon. And Beirut, I guess, was treating these guys like absolute super shit, folks. And I don't know the situation that well to know whether or not this guy's story is 100%, or where his wife is, or why family that could support him didn't come. I don't really know, folks. The only thing I know, folks, is that this guy didn't get any of the refugee help that he should have. He has a young daughter, and he after coming from Syria, folks, he had to sell pens on the street just to pay for his daughter's food and everything. Now, I don't know exactly how truthful this is. I don't know whether or not it's an absolute story, but basically he was a victim of the war in Syria. He was found in a Beirut, Lebanon shelter. Let's see, when was this story put out? I'm trying to find a date real quick. Alright, so it doesn't really have a date, but basically it says that for the last 4 months, he sells pens in the streets of Beirut in order to survive and to feed his young daughter. So, this is just absolute crap, folks. And I don't care who you are, I don't care what your background is. There should always be something that you can do to make something enough where somebody will put food on the table for you. And this is actually hopefully a better story because I think it is a little bit more uplifting. There was a stranger named Gisius Simanaso, a Nordic web developer who by mistake had I think it's supposed to say lunch, where Abdul sold his pens. He took a photo of Abdul and his young daughter. His photo went viral across the internet as it touched many people's hearts. So thank God this finally made it. And I'm hoping this story is better than what it supposedly is. What it should have been, at least, or should have been more. But basically, a web funding campaign took place in order to raise funds that could save Abdul and his daughter. The campaign was a huge success. In the end, it raised $200,000. As you can guess, the funds completely changed Abdul's life. He opened 2 restaurants where he employs 14 Syrian refugees just like him from the nearby refugee camp. I mean, this is such an amazing story, folks. And this is kind of like the thing that you're supposed to get to when you're down and out and things are done, folks. I mean, regardless of religion and everything, this is the idea here, folks. And, the idea that you can be down and out and somebody comes and actually recognizes you and recognizes your pain and gives you the benefit of the doubt and helps you out is amazing. And that's what community, that's what religion, that's what humanity is about. Now, what really pisses me off about this is he was in Lebanon from Syria. Why couldn't he go to the churches or, obviously mosques, or some of those places to get assistance? Were they that turned off by the Syrian refugees? I mean, I really want to know why these Middle Eastern countries aren't just taking in more of these refugees. But this is a sad story, folks, and I wanted to share it with you. I'll provide the links and everything. You can review the story. Thanks.